Has Trump's Iran war left US troops increasingly isolated across the Gulf region amid shifting regional sentiments? Is the UAE now delivering another unexpected signal after earlier hints about turning to the yuan if dollar liquidity tightens? Just hours after raising currency concerns, is Abu Dhabi now reassessing its broader strategic alignment with Washington? With calls emerging that US forces may no longer be required, is a major shift underway in Gulf security thinking? And as the economic and security fallout of the Iran conflict unfolds, is the UAE reconsidering the long-term presence of American troops? The conflict involving the United States and Israel against Iran may have had unintended consequences for American interests in the Gulf region. A prominent academic from the United Arab Emirates has raised concerns regarding the continued presence of US military forces in the area. These observations were shared by UAE scholar Abdulkhalik Abdullah during an interview with Reuters. He suggested that American military installations in the UAE are increasingly being viewed as a liability rather than a strategic advantage. The academic also argued that it may be time to consider closing US bases operating within the region. According to Abdullah, recent events have demonstrated that the UAE is capable of ensuring its own defense without external military support. It is notable that the UAE currently hosts approximately 3,500 US personnel, including operations at Al-Dhafra Air Base. The Abu Dhabi scholar said, and I quote, "The UAE no longer needs America to defend it, as it has proven during the Iranian aggression that it is capable of defending itself with distinction. What the UAE needs is to acquire only the best and latest weapons that America has. Therefore, it is time to think about closing the American bases, as they are a burden and not a strategic asset." End quote. During the recent conflict involving Iran, the United States, and Israel, Gulf nations experienced significant retaliatory actions. The UAE was reportedly targeted by a large number of drones and missile strikes over the course of the conflict. Estimates suggest that Iran deployed hundreds of ballistic missiles, drones, and cruise missiles toward the UAE. These developments have contributed to notable economic disruption within United Arab Emirates. Reports indicate that market capitalization losses in Dubai and Abu Dhabi have exceeded $120 billion. The aviation sector has also been affected, with more than 18,000 flights reportedly cancelled. In addition, Dubai's real estate market has experienced a decline, with indices falling significantly in recent months. Infrastructure damage has also been reported at key locations, including major landmarks and transport hubs. In the days before the America-Iran ceasefire is scheduled to end, one of Trump's closest Arab allies moved to seek firm financial security guarantees from Washington. According to reports, the UAE has been discussing ways to secure a financial backstop from the United States to help shield its economy from further turbulence. These developments were reported by the Wall Street Journal, which cited high-level meetings between Emirati and American officials as the source. During those talks, Emirati officials raised the idea of establishing a currency swap line with the United States as part of a broader protection plan. If approved, such a facility would allow the UAE central bank to access US dollars in moments of extreme market stress, when funding can suddenly dry up. With this mechanism in place, the UAE could support its own currency or bolster its foreign reserves using US dollars drawn from the swap line. The Wall Street Journal says the UAE is seeking this kind of security in case the war with Iran deepens financial stress on Abu Dhabi's economy. At the same time, officials have stressed that these discussions are still preliminary and that no formal swap line request has been submitted yet. Securing a swap line backed by the US Federal Reserve could be challenging, given how carefully Washington guards such privileges. Historically, the Fed has reserved these kinds of arrangements for economies that share deep financial links and robust institutional ties with the United States. In moments of global stress, Washington has occasionally extended temporary swap facilities to a broader circle of countries to cushion systemic shocks. According to the report, the UAE might not automatically qualify for such a swap line facility under current criteria. As an alternative, the United States could choose to deploy its Exchange Stabilization Fund, a powerful but less used financial tool. The ESF can provide loans, guarantees, or other support to partner economies, giving them breathing room during periods of heavy stress. So far, the UAE has avoided a full-blown economic fallout from the Iran war, thanks to strong buffers and careful management. Prolonged disruptions, especially in choke points like the Strait of Hormuz, could dent dollar revenues and put pressure on foreign exchange reserves. Emirati officials have also hinted at switching to alternative currencies, according to the Wall Street Journal's account of the talks. If access to US dollars becomes constrained or too politically costly, the country may feel forced to switch part of its trade into other currencies. In that scenario, the UAE could begin conducting some of its oil trade and other major transactions in Chinese yuan as well. Even a partial shift would chip away at the US dollar's dominance in global oil markets, at least temporarily. This move would also dovetail neatly with China's broader push to internationalize the yuan and expand its role in global finance. Oil and gas infrastructure in several Arab states suffered major damage during the conflict, including critical facilities in the Gulf that were hit or disrupted. The IMF has said recovery timelines in the Gulf will vary by country depending on geography and how quickly exports can resume, indicating that some energy systems may face a prolonged return to normal operations. Ras Laffan, the complex responsible for about 93% of Qatar's LNG output, has been shut since early March according to reports about the disruption at the site. An estimated 3 to 5 years are reportedly needed to restore Ras Laffan to full capacity, according to reports citing damage assessments after the strikes on Qatar's key LNG complex. In Bahrain, several homes were damaged in situ. Industrial sites, including aluminium-related facilities, were also reportedly targeted. At least 2 civilians were killed and 2 others were injured. Saudi Arabia faced repeated attacks on Riyadh and the eastern province. Reports said 2 civilians were killed. 1 US service member also died. At least 12 American soldiers were wounded during the attacks. Qatar came under repeated attacks on key sites and important oil and gas infrastructure. 4 Qatari servicemen and 3 Turkish nationals were reported killed. Some of the casualties linked to a helicopter crash during the conflict period. In the United Arab Emirates, fires and visible damage were reported in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Civilian infrastructure, airports, ports, and industrial locations were affected. Petrochemical and aluminium-linked facilities were also reportedly attacked. Deaths included 9 civilians and 2 military personnel. In Jordan, falling debris caused material damage. 1 American soldier was reported injured. A strike was also reported on a US-related site in eastern Jordan. On April 14th, Chinese President Xi Jinping called for stronger ties between China and Arab states during a conversation with Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Khaled bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. She made those remarks while speaking with the Abu Dhabi Crown Prince, underscoring Beijing's effort to deepen its regional relationships at a moment of heightened instability.
Historic changes are unfolding in ways never seen before. Human society faces a choice between peace and war, unity or confrontation. We must strengthen coordination, enhance cooperation, and build a more solid, resilient, and dynamic China-Arab Comprehensive Strategic Partnership.